Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. Thanks for joining us on this Monday for another episode of the 10 Weather Impact Show. And it's one where we have a ongoing 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day. It's for the cold temperatures and the bitter cold wind chills. If you've been outside today, you've already felt how much colder things are getting across Central Ohio. Temperatures actually hit their high point of the day earlier this morning. They've been trending downward ever since then. Early this morning, we were in the low 20s. We're now down into the teens, and these temperatures will continue downward toward the single digits as we head through tonight, with wind chills, if they're not already sub-zero where you are, likely to go sub-zero in the next couple of hours, and those wind chills will stay sub-zero through tomorrow morning. In fact, as cold as -5 to -15 at times, so make sure you're bundled up and you're ready for this cold. Let's start first with the cold weather advisory. That's what we have in place now across the entirety of the 10 TV viewing area. If you were watching us last night, this only covered about the northern half. That was extended to cover the rest of the counties that we cover here on 10 TV as we worked our way into the evening hours, the late overnight hours last night. Those cold weather advisories for those sub-zero wind chills in place across the region. They're in place from now through about 10 a.m. tomorrow. Again, it's all for this very bitter cold wind chill that we see in place across the region. Impact out there again now through tomorrow morning is going to be those sub-zero wind chills, -5 to -15 across the region at their worst. This is likely to be right around sunrise tomorrow. After that, we do see a little bit of improvement, but nonetheless, you will need to dress in layers, bundle up, and be ready for this big blast of cold air that is heading our way with that dangerously cold conditions moving through now and only getting worse as we head toward tomorrow morning. Here's the radar outside. We had some snow across the region early this morning. Didn't amount to much accumulation, but we got that sort of wispy, dusty snow covering across the region, really less than half an inch in many spots, but you may come across some slick spots out there sort of left over from that snow system. As this pushes its way out toward Pennsylvania, good news for us is we are seeing sunshine start to pop out across the region, and we'll see more sun tomorrow. The bad news is it's just not going to do anything to help warm us up, just kind of a superficial improvement to how things are going to be looking outside. Speaking of which, we're seeing a little blue work its way in over downtown Columbus right now. The sky is starting to break just a bit. Clouds off on the horizon out toward the east. Temperatures out there again continuing downward, 18 degrees at this hour in Columbus. A wind chill sitting at 1, so we are just barely holding on to that above 0 point right now here in the city. I would expect that to fall below 0 again in the next hour or two as our temperatures continue downward. We're already seeing sub-zero wind chills in Mount Vernon, Mansfield, Delaware. Marion feels like -11. Kenton feels like -16 at this hour, and Marysville -8. So that sub-zero wind chill and really bitter cold air is working its way through the 10 TV viewing area this afternoon. And again, only going to see more and more of us with those bitter cold temperatures as we continue through the afternoon. Speaking of which, our temperature drops to 16 by 3 o'clock. We're down to 13 by 5 and single digits out there by 9 o'clock tonight. We will settle our way down to about 5 degrees by the time we head towards sunrise tomorrow. Mostly clear skies through the overnight, though we see a few clouds push through. Not expecting any more chances for snow, at least in the next 24 to 48 hours here until we get into Wednesday when snow chances return. That weather impact alert continues through Tuesday for the bitter cold. Again, we're expected to get down to about 5 here in the city. Average temperature for this time of the year is up at 21 for a low. So this is definitely well below that heading into tonight. We warm back up to around 16 as we head toward Wednesday morning and into the mid-20s by Thursday morning. However, we see another big blast of cold air as we head toward the end of the week. That could throw us back down into single digits by the time we head toward next Saturday. It's going to be another big blast of cold air heading our way by the time we head to the end of the week and into the start of next weekend. Let's go hour by hour with our feels like temperatures so you can see what to expect. Again, those feels like conditions below 0 off to our northwest at this hour. Those will proceed to push toward Columbus as we head through this evening. Again, in the next couple hours, expected to start to fall below that 0 mark for our wind chills. Across the region tonight is when the worst wind chills settle in. This is when most of us will be in that -5 to -15 degree range as we head toward tomorrow morning. If you're out at the bus stop, if you got to work outside, make sure you are dressing in layers and limiting your exposure as much as you can to those bitter cold temperatures and especially those sub-zero wind chills. As we work our way through Tuesday morning and into Tuesday afternoon, kind of a combination of factors happen. We do warm up a little bit. We get up to around 20 in the afternoon tomorrow, but the winds also back down, so we're not going to see nearly as much wind chill factor. It's still going to feel about 10 to 15 degrees colder than the actual air temperature, but at least we are up in positive territory. And then by the time we head toward Wednesday morning and beyond, things really improve in terms of feels like temperatures. Let's talk about snow, because we're not out of the woods yet for snow in the next couple days here across central Ohio either, even though we are dealing mostly with the cold. Tomorrow, the rest of today, save for a few flurries, should be pretty dry. Not expecting anything major out of that. Wednesday, we do have another shot of some snow coming into the region, but here's what's tricky about Wednesday. Our temperatures out there are going to be lifting back up into the mid and upper 30s in some spots out there. If you remember late last week, Friday, we had some snow come through. It was a lot on radar, but it didn't really stick to any of the roads. That was because it was mixing with a little bit of rain, and those surface temperatures had warmed up enough to melt a lot of it as it made contact. I think that's what we're going to see Wednesday. We'll probably see plenty of snow on radar, but in terms of impact, I don't think it's going to accumulate to much. That should be done by early Thursday. We'll stay dry as we head into Friday, but then we've got another potential weather maker as we head toward next weekend. Right now, we're putting ourselves into the colder and less snowy category of this, but there's a big weather maker pushing just to our south, and if that lifts any bit further north, we could be looking at much higher chances for snow here in central Ohio Saturday, Sunday, maybe even into early next week. Like I said, right now it's looking to track toward the south. So let's go ahead and go hour by hour, what we can expect over the next couple of days. Here's the rest of the day today. We see clearing skies out there, sunshine to end the day, clear skies tonight. Clear skies overnight, that's bad news. That means we really cool off, and that's why we're expecting those temperatures to drop down again well into the single digits by tomorrow morning. Tuesday itself, plenty of sunshine out there, a few passing clouds, but otherwise nice and quiet day, just a cold day for your Tuesday. As we push past Tuesday into Wednesday, that's when we see cloud cover start to build back in by Wednesday morning. We see those snow chances start to push through as we head into late Wednesday morning. We'll continue scattered snow showers possible throughout the afternoon. Again, though, I think this is mostly not going to accumulate, though we could get the occasional heavy band that produces probably less than an inch or two overall. So not expecting a big impact from what we see out there Wednesday into early Thursday. So let's push past that. This is Thursday. That first snow system pushes out. We're nice and dry as we head through the day Thursday. We're staying dry as we head into the day on Friday. Northern counties may see a flurry or two dip into the region, but that would be about it for Friday. Let's talk weekend. We talked about that system we are watching toward our south. Here's Saturday. Cloud cover has pushed back into central Ohio. That stronger low pressure system pushes to our south. You can see the heavy snow potential down across portions of North Carolina into Tennessee, Kentucky, and western Virginia. That is where we think the worst winter impacts will be felt right now. You can see that snow does hit us here in Ohio, but not nearly as heavy. Again, if this system lifts toward the north, though, that could put us on track for a much more impressive snowfall. So we will have to keep a close eye on this system through the next couple of days. That should push off toward the east as we head toward the back half of the weekend. Again, though, that system lifts north. We could see some of that heavier snow here Sunday as well. So this is going to be one to watch. But right now, we're putting ourselves in the lower category. Here's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast heading through the next 7 days. Continued 10 TV weather impact alert day as we head into early Tuesday. It's for those sub-zero wind chills. Air temperature will be around 5 degrees. Wind chill -5 to -15 as we head through the morning. As far as what we're looking at heading into Wednesday, temperature up to 38. That's why we don't think a lot of that snow is going to stick. It's going to mix with some rain. It's going to melt as it hits the ground. That starts to drop as we head toward Thursday. Temperature temperature only up to about 31, but we do see some sunshine. It's followed by much colder air heading into Friday. Much like today, that high of 22 is going to happen early in the day Friday, with temperatures falling after that. We could be down to as cold as 3 by Saturday morning. That temperature back in single digits again as we head into early Sunday before we warm back into the 20s by the end of the forecast. Again, we do have to watch carefully that snow potential for next weekend. We're holding it at about 30% right now, but all eyes will be on the track of that system. If that system does track further north, what would change next weekend is the temperatures would go up, so that's a positive. But also climbing would be that snow potential, and it could be a pretty major system. Certainly looks to be toward our south right now. And again, all eyes will be on the position of that storm track as we head through later this week. So make sure you're staying with 10 TV for the latest updates as we refine that forecast in the days ahead. Of course, for today, though, we've been talking about the cold air and the need to stay safe from all that cold heading our way. And while we're talking about ways to stay safe, behind the wheel is another one you should remember to prepare for. It's illegal to actually leave your car unlocked and idling in public here in Ohio, but you can warm your car up in a garage or in a private driveway. We also talked to experts of AAA who say, well, your car doesn't need as much time to heat up as you think, especially with newer cars.
Today, with all the modern technology on our vehicles and fuel injectors and everything else out there, we really only need about 30 seconds to get that vehicle warmed up and ready to go on the road, even on a cold day.
Already, it's also important to build a winter emergency kit for your car. This includes a bag with snacks and clothes, jumper cables, a flashlight, and an ice scraper. It's also good to have traction tools just in case you get stuck. And if you do have to drive anywhere today, remember that the bridges and overpasses do freeze first. So any of that little light wispy snow, anything that melts on the road out there could form some slick spots and some ice. So make sure you slow. Bridges, they typically freeze first because the entire structure is surrounded by cold air. They don't have that benefit of warmer ground. Plus, some shady parts of the road, well, they can actually accumulate ice before others as well. Either way, on a day like today, slow down before you hit those bridges and overpasses. And if you are out and about and you can't stay inside on this MLK Day, don't forget to bundle up to take the dog out or any other outdoor activities you need to do. This tells you here, a graphic from weather.gov, how to dress in extreme cold conditions. You'll want a heavy coat, hat, gloves, scarf, and something to cover your face, especially if you're going to be out in the wind for a prolonged period of time, like walking a pet or working outside. This is going to be especially true tonight and into tomorrow morning. You need to head out and do something today. If your day off was this Monday, Columbus Zoo has been closed because of the cold. The zoo posted on social media over the weekend that it's closing for the health of guests and staff as well as their animals. The zoo says the animals are safe and will continue to be cared for during this cold weather. And finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. Snow wasn't only here in the northern states. Some parts of Florida, the Panhandle, actually saw the white stuff flying. Check this video out showing the flakes falling across the Sunshine State. Safe to say that Floridians are not feeling so great about it.
Surprised more than anything, and not very excited about it. I mean, we live in the South, so it's not something we look forward to.
I was really surprised to see this much. Usually you never see this much in Florida. I've driven in hurricanes, I've never driven in snow.
That is definitely an experience that many Floridians are probably thinking this morning. Driven in a hurricane, but nothing like this. People may not be prepared in that part of the country, but the palm trees do look pretty with a little bit of snow on there. Check out, again, this video here, just seeing how big and wet those flakes are coming down on top of those palm trees in what is usually the Sunshine State. Another fun fact you may not know, they've got a lot of lizards down there, and iguanas can actually fall out of the trees when temperatures get too cold. Speaking of Florida, one more story in what looks to be a little bit warmer part of the state. We're inching closer to the launch of 21st century's moon mission. Video shows NASA's Artemis 2 rocket now sitting at the Kennedy Space Center launch pad in Florida. The NASA crawler is moving at just 1 mile per hour to transport that 17 million pound rocket and its launcher. Right now, crews are preparing for the spacecraft for a wet dress rehearsal to test fueling operations. The crew is embarking on a 10-day mission, looping around the moon and back to Earth. The goal of Artemis 2 is to pave the way for Artemis 3, a moon landing mission. Right now, the rocket is slated to lift off on February 6th or the 7th. That'd be cool to see us return to space and return to the moon with these new missions. You know what else is cool? Well, cold, really. That's our temperatures heading through the next 24 hours. I'm sure you're well aware of that after having watched 10 Weather Impact Show here this afternoon, but we are going to continue to keep all eyes on this cold weather as it pushes through. And of course, our next weather maker next weekend, whether that is bitter cold or the potential for snow, we'll have all the details for you here on 10 TV. Coming up later tonight, I'll be back 4, 5, and 6 o'clock to get you ready. And of course, later tonight at 11. Until then, you can catch more news and weather online, 10tv.com.